I would like to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to King Dolphin TV, episode 256. I am Raymond Feliciano. I am the writer of the Dolphin Wars trilogy and ruler of the greatest pod on YouTube. It I'd like to welcome you all here. Right now, we're still planning on having Stephanie Janiscek on for an interview, and pretty much it's going to be unscripted. It's going to be just an update on what she's heard, on what's going on with Disney, what's going on with Star Wars. I was hoping that she would probably try and get us through some noise that keeps coming up in pop culture in all the YouTube things. So hopefully we'll have a great time tonight. And I would also like to thank everybody for their support over these tough days. As everybody knows who has had pets, it is hard to as everybody knows, it's hard to lose a pet, and it it doesn't get any easier. It's always tough, but we have to move on. Um, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more tears between the two of us and those that have known Snoop, and we're just happy for for the fun that he gave us, for the love the unconditional love that he gave us, and that it um, it, it's going to be tough for the next month or so. Um, you you saw at the beginning the wonderful picture of the flowers that Snoopy we got from Chewy. And, they sent us flowers to help us remember, and a lovely card. And you saw that um, on the pic on the picture just before we got started here. So um, I thought it was really sweet. Um, so let me, before she gets on and before we get going here, let me go through our usual message, and then welcome those that are coming in. If you like, if you really like what I'm doing here, if you love these interviews, if you love the reviews that I do, and all the fun with Just Cuz, Surfside Chat, the podcast, please like and subscribe. Get me over let's get over um, hump to 500. That would be great. Also, if you know people that want to be interviewed, that you'd like to see interviewed, please give me the name and a way to reach out to them. so I can reach out to them and we can get them on. May is packed. Uh, I really think that's great that we've got May already packed for interviews. Um, so I'm looking forward to May, and we are also um, we're also um, if you want to help out the channel, please put some ducats in the buckets as soon as I get as soon as I can get, yeah, it goes. If you want to help out the channel, I've got the tip stream up. Please put some ducats in the buckets. You know what happens if we don't, because you know who I send over to help persuade you to put tips in the tip jar. He's big, he's white, he's furry, and I don't think you will. He loves to hug. But I don't know if you want to have those hugs. So, without further ado, as we are waiting, let us go through the welcomes. We have out there in Chatland, we have, and please bear with me. Please bear with me. I think you know what's going on, and so I'm. So if I seem like I'm a little out of sorts, I'm sure you know why. So in the chat we have Tim, also known as FKHC 2005, who is here, and like to thank you for being here. We have the producer. This is a Sandra Feliciano production. She's here, and well, not quite here, but she's around and will be down momentarily. And she's having it tougher. That she's taking it tougher than well, we both are. We both are. She's just showing a bit more of it. It's tough. So tough on both of us, and she's showing showing just as much as if not more for the Snoop. We have our co-host John Rendell. Hello, buddy. We've got the first one in, the last one out. Legatus Legionai. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all your kind thoughts. We've got the Comic Relief Crusader, who said, that's KHC, saying send Moves Rocco to help us find the checkbook. And Snorta Poopa says, I'm a very affectionate bear. Crunch. And then Comic Relief Crusader, thank you very much. He says, I'm so sorry to hear about Snoopy. Praying for you. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it. All right. And I know John FKHC says, R.I.P. Snoopy, and forever in our hearts, R.I.P. Snoopy. And in honor of the sweet boy, I asked Fet for Hire to do the logo that's up on the top corner. in my tradition, in the Jewish tradition, we mourn for dear ones for a month. So that's going to be up for a month as we mourn for my boy, our sweet Snoopy. Um. Okay. So where was I? Okay. Legatus, Comic Relief Crusader, and now, last but not least, of course, you see him right there on the corner, blowing bubbles. Snarpupas! Q bar. Dot screen. Hashtag. Come on, get it right. Hashtag roar. R.I.P. Snoopy. He was a good boy. He didn't chew me up, which is a good thing. He could have. Let's get the show going. Okay, so let's go through as we're waiting. Let's go. Let's see. Let's go up and see what we see here. Do-do-do-do. Let's see. Scrolling down. Yeah, I know. I know. Sandra says we're hanging in there. I'm not going to put that up. Snortapoopa says, I saw the post on Facebook. How nice of them. Tim had a cat back. Tim had a cat. Who passed? Oh. 17 years? Wow. Okay. Raymond Feliciano, to light my fire flame, Feliciano. I wish I'd be rich. Okay, and we got that, and then we got that. All right. Okay. There's that. You send Moose Rocco to help us find a checkbook. Nah, I got Snort. Snort does a good job. He is going to he will if you survive the persuasion, he will definitely put some treats, ducats in the bucket. Let's see. Aw, thanks, Snort. He sends non-crunchy bear hugs for me and Sandra. Uh, they actually did it that same day. Um, we one of the reasons I had a delay is he had just come by. He just came by when we were still on stream, right, Sandra? Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had just came by right as I was doing the tribute stream for Snoop. So, and then the very next day, we got a box. We got a box, and we decorated the little shelf very nicely. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if Sandra put it in here or not. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Let's see which one of us gets it to me faster, Sandra or me. Okay. No, that's. I think that's a reasonable question. Um, and it was nice that when they called to let me know, they said they were bringing him home. And at that time, I cried just as hard as I was on the when I was on the um, when I was on the stream. So I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Okay. Here we go. There you go.
Hello. I am here. As you can see, there's a picture of Kojak there, the dog. Um, let's see. Dinner was good. It was just a light dinner tonight because I'm gonna put my face on here. Ooh, where am I? There. There.
Okay.
We're gonna probably go somewhere this summer for our 20th. So
Okay. Well,
that's
great.
so it's kind of a big deal, but
Well,
a lot of stuff's going on. Maybe a new job happening in the future for my husband, stuff like that. So
okay. Well, glad you're here. We were talking about my little my little buddy, our little buddy boy, Snoopy.
okay.
He passed Sunday,
Oh,
so
I'm so sorry. I know how
yeah,
that feels. I know how that
yeah,
feels. When
yeah.
Buford died, he died on January 15th, 2020, which was the lead up into the shittiest year I can remember. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, 2020 sucked. And
Mm-hmm.
it's I know how it feels because it just what's bad about it is we knew it was going to happen. He
Mm-hmm.
had been not good for a long time
Mm-hmm.
since the October before, and
Yeah.
it was one of those things where you're like, okay, I understand intellectually, but as far as like being able to accept it and live with it is two different things. So I understand. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I as much I think Sandra and I both agree that as much as this hurts and as much as we're brokenhearted, and he went on his own terms,
yeah,
as Snoopy would. He didn't pass alone. He didn't pass on a vet's table. He said, "It's time.
yeah,
It's time, mommy. You're here.
yeah,
Uh, I'm going."
yeah, yeah.
So,
With with
and,
with Buford, it was Rudy woke up that morning. He gets up really early.
mhm.
Old Marine that he is, downstairs, and usually because Buford couldn't get up the stairs anymore,
Mhm.
he'd raise his head and wag his tail and say, "Hey, Daddy, give me water, give me food." And he didn't move. So
Mhm.
when Rudy walked over to him, he kind of raised his head, and it wasn't good. I mean, it. So I woke up, I got down there, and about 8 o'clock that morning, I called the vet and said, "We need to see you." Told them what happened, and they said, "Golden Retriever, 13 years old, um, and we've been told it was some sort of thing called something vestibular disease, right?
Mm.
I think the vet probably knew it was a brain tumor. All right, it just everything kind of went bonkers one night in late October, and it looked like the vestibular disease. And
Mm.
maybe it was, but the way he went downhill so fast was, it was so, we took him in at 6 o'clock that night, and you know, people talk about, well, it's a dog, and I go, yeah, it's my family. Shoot them,
Mhm. Makes sense.
you know,
Makes sense.
and you know, it just it sucks. It rips your guts out. And I
Hmm.
was, until Kojak, who's getting water right now, I can hear him, showed up. And you know him. I mean, he did this to me.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody blamed the horse for their shattered wrist. It's like, no, my dog swept my legs out from under me on the driveway. That's how that happened.
yeah. I think I remember that.
Yeah, and it wasn't the horse. She's actually, when I've got something complicated to do that concerns Kay, Kay is just like, I'll help. So she'll put herself in a position to make my life easier.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, she's so big, she can't behave that way. I've
Mhm.
seen her behave that way. Um, it's it's a beautiful thing and it's terrifying because if you don't have control of it, you're so screwed. I mean, she weighs 1,200 pounds, and when she wants to lose her, you know, rear up and buck straight up in the air 6 feet,
Mhm.
it's like I don't know what to do right now because she's out of her mind. You just look
Mhm.
at her, it's like, and then all of a sudden she's back. She just gets it all out, and then she's like, "Okay, what do you want? What do you want to do? What's going on?"
Mhm.
What? Anyway, so we did the 20th anniversary small dinner.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank
Happy
you,
anniversary.
thank you, Rudy, and I say thank you. We're remembering all the travels. We were married in Hawaii
Oh, wow.
because that's where he was stationed.
Yeah.
Um, we actually came back to where we live now because the Army War College is here.
Right.
We went then after a year there. We went to Florida,
Hmm.
to Tampa, had a year or 2 years or so stint there. Then drove across the country to
Hmm.
California and spent
Yeah.
4.5 years there, I think. And then went to Korea and did two
Hmm.
years there. And it was interesting. I would say go to visit, but don't go to live. If you're an American, it's just really hard. Um,
Hmm.
you really have to be loving the culture. And I'm like going, but some of these people eat dogs. I don't understand that. Okay.
Hmm.
um, and it's really kind of bizarre to be 30 miles away from a country that wants to kill you, which Seoul, Korea is only like that far away
Oh,
uh,
yeah. Hmm.
from the DMZ. And then, we went to DC, uh, acquired K, and
Hmm.
then Rudy retired, and now we're back in Carlisle.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's 20 years. It's like it's you don't realize how fast it goes until you go,
Yeah.
wow. Because I still talk to friends of mine in California when we lived in Carlsbad, and it's like we just saw each other. It feels like, but that was 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And I was telling you, it's bizarre anyway. So
Yeah.
it's been interesting, but we'll do something. I'm
Good.
lobbying to go to Churchill Downs and to go to
Ooh.
Kentucky to see the horses,
Oh.
or you know, whatever. That's me.
Well, the Derby's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I'm
Or did
not
it
going.
pass?
I'm not going to that. It's already. You couldn't get a hotel room at a
No.
Motel 6 there. At an hourly rate motel, you couldn't probably get a hotel now for the Derby. I mean, they have like what is 180,000 people
Hmm.
at the venue, people are like, it's only a 2-minute race. It's like, it's not the race.
It's the hats, it's the juleps, it's the
It's the event.
environments.
It's the event.
Yeah,
That's what the Derby is. But I want to go to it someday.
yeah.
I would. It's the only horse racing is the only sport I watch anymore.
Oh, okay.
Don't watch football. Kneeling down for the national anthem.
Hmm.
That and then the way the NFL kind of acted like it wasn't a big deal. It's like
Yes.
it is to me. I'm a military wife.
Hmm.
Okay.
Same here.
And, so goodbye. So I don't watch the Packers anymore, which everyone looks at me at home going, you're the biggest Packer fan I know. It's like, I know, but you don't kneel down for the national anthem,
I.
right? So anyway, that's it. But,
Mhm.
so it was a good day. It was a good day.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad we finally hooked up. This is not. This is going to be totally unscripted. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
This is going to be
Cabernet.
total. Oh, Cabernet. This is going to be total. This is going to be totally unscripted. We're just. I just thought we'd talk about what you've been up to in
Okay.
the pop culture world.
All right.
Any noise that you want to dispel
All
the
right.
noise. But
All right.
first, let me welcome these new people who have come on. We've got Fancy Outsider. We've got Taylor Swift is greater than the Disney and Disney Star Wars and MCU. And we have the lovely Tiger Stripes. And thank you all for all the kind words you've said for us and Snoopy. So
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
so okay. So what has the Cantina been up to?
Well, a lot of stuff has been going on since the last time we talked. I don't think. Wow, we haven't talked in a long time.
About a year.
Yeah, about a year. Let's see. First off, this was about the time that Kathleen Kennedy had a brain fart at Celebration and announced a movie that's never being made, the Ray
Uh,
movie.
the Ray
Uh,
movie, yeah.
the writers deep into production of the Peaky Blinders movie. Um, Daisy Ridley will talk about it in generalities. And what bothers me is there are people in the YouTube community that almost act like they need it to happen to hate things. It's like, why does this why does this why do you want this to happen? I know you don't want to, you say, but you think it's gonna happen. And yet when you look at the actual public things going on, there's nothing there. I mean, even the Forbes article from the other day never mentioned it. I mean, in fact, the opening line of the Forbes article that basically validated me saying the Disney movies, the Star Wars movies, did not make more than 1.2 or $3 billion. That's
Mhm.
what they made. All right. And for a long time, people on both sides of the aisle were saying they broke even. They didn't break even. They didn't break even because you've got to look at what had to be paid out before you get to take
Mhm.
money home. Okay. They didn't break even. So, Kennedy goes out there, announces this, and Daisy, I'm close friends with Cameron Pasha. And, there's a connection to Lucasfilm there. And John Favreau's not going to touch a Ray movie with a 10-foot pole. The Acolyte, on the other hand, this is something else big YouTubers won't talk about. Where did the money come from? Because from what we can garner from what Sparrow has said and just the little nitpicking stuff that we can pick out of the public, Disney didn't okay this show. Bob
Mm.
didn't okay it. Bob Iger didn't okay it. So what happened? You got to think, who is the showrunner? Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant.
Mhm.
And
Leslie Squarehead.
yeah, Leslie Flintstone. And that's an insult to Fred Flintstone. I'm sorry, but hey, dude, she looks like that. Um, and you're like, what did she do? Call in markers, post some black, you're thinking all this stuff. And this is another thing people won't talk about. The lawsuit, the Karen McCarthy lawsuit. This woman who had been part of the John Adams Playtone production and some other things. She's close friends with like Tom Hanks and Paul Giamatti. She's connected. Was on the cusp of agreeing to be the line producer for a TV show called Sugar. It's on Apple TV. It's already garnering a lot of attention because it's been released. The episodes are, and Colin Farrell's in it, and it's actually. I've been watching it, and there are a few times when I almost wanted to stop because I was like, ugh, But it's good. All right. She agreed to do the line producing for The Acolyte. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, she gets contacted by email from Harvey's former personal assistant saying she was fired.
Oh.
For no reason at all. And she was like, well, you guys are going to have to pay me. So they went into this, no, we don't even know, Lucasfilm denying they even knew who she was. Finally they give her $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah, which is an insult. I mean,
it is.
When this came out, I remember, and the payment that they'd come up with, Cameron was like, and so I'm like looking at this going, of course she's going to sue them. She lost out on Sugar, which had to be like what, $1 million, $2 million paycheck. She lost out on The Acolyte, which was probably the same thing. And she had all the emails, and Disney had the documents pulled from the Los Angeles County Courthouse website, but I have them. I have everything she added to evidence, and she's got a case. And from what we know now, Disney's been stonewalling since last year. And this came out before Star Wars Celebration. Okay. So then, you get to Star Wars Celebration, and the story was Kennedy was supposed to get a Viking funeral. She said, but everybody will know I'm leaving. And apparently the story was Iger said, and yeah. And she went out and did what she wanted. And she totally upstaged John and Dave. I mean, people who were there told me that Jon Favreau just walked off the stage. It's like, fuck this shit. He's pissed. Because it was supposed to be about Ahsoka. Well, anyway, which she did deliberately to fuck them over with Ahsoka. Okay. And it worked, by the way, that people who I'm not sure actually watched the show behaved towards it. I have a problem with the big YouTubers right now. They're more worried about the algorithm than doing their due diligence to do what's right for their subscribers. Okay. Anyway, so after Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny gets going, Steven Spielberg, you've seen the videos, cancels Kennedy and her husband in front of the entire planet. Okay. Apparently, I get a phone call. I'm in the parking lot. It's like June 28th. When previews were starting, and it was Thursday, and I was over at the movie theater. Cameron calls and says, Kennedy's been suspended from email. And what they were doing is they were told this. So people were pinging her account and it was bouncing back. Yeah. It's like, okay. So I go in there all high and mighty going, yeah. And really liking the first 20 minutes. First 20 minutes was Indiana Jones, for sure. And I don't have a problem with deepfake. I don't, unless they can find an actor that approximates the original, I don't want to watch it. I really, really don't, because Soylo, a Soy War story, just awful air and yuck. Cringe. And that Monday, July 3rd, Kennedy had a meeting apparently with Iger, in which and Alan Bergman was there, Dana Walden, and all the rest of these, lawyers and everything. And they're like, why did this movie fail? They knew it was going to fail. And she started blaming Iger for everything. And Iger lost his shit. And, apparently there was these guys called the Five Horsemen that showed up from Lucasfilm, or at Lucasfilm from Disney. And basically she's not been on campus since then. Okay. The only time she was is she met with the Witch King of Burbank, which is the leader of the pack was called. And got a bunch of moving guys showed up and moved her shit out of her office up in Marin County. Now, you don't have to believe anything I'm saying, but here's what I want to do here now. Where the fuck has she been? Sorry, my language. Since June of 2023. We have not seen her. We have not heard from her. Nothing. When Carl Weathers died, Jon Favreau was the one that addressed it for Lucasfilm, not her. So when I hear, oh, she's still there. Yeah? Where? Find her for me.
Mm-hmm.
Show her going into her office every day. All right.
Yeah.
Where is she? Okay. So there's that. I mean, you can look at what, we've been told through Sparrow, and you can look at what deniers want to say. And look, we've got some people that have showed up like within the last year or two and in the fandom that are not straight shooters. Okay. And the way Cameron has been treated, and I'm going to say this right here, has been appalling. Okay. I'm a loyal person, and I don't give a crap how you feel about me. But if you mess with my friends, I'm going to call you out, and I've called every one of them out. Okay. I don't want any drama, but what happened was BS, especially since at one point, gosh, was it a year ago? It was a year ago on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about something. Cameron was in chat, and a big channel owner showed up and threatened him.
What? Oh.
Threatened him.
No, you don't do that.
WDW Pro. All right. There were witnesses everywhere. They're like, and I went off. I said, I should have taken a screenshot, but I was so like, I didn't, but he did. And, my renters saw it, and everybody saw it, and he got away with it. You don't see Cameron on the different channels anymore. You see him on the different channels anymore.
Ooh.
Right? That is wrong. Okay, that is why I am on my, rant on this. So anyway, what else has been going on? Ahsoka came out. They renewed it for second season. We knew that was going to happen months before they announced it. They can sit there and scream about a Rey movie till they lose their voices, and it's not going to happen. There's no money in it. There's no reason for it. I can go to the Ollie's down the road, and there are still Reys from the Last Jedi on the pegs that haven't been bought, and they're only being bought by collectors who, what they do is they'll go and buy a whole lot and they just keep them. Okay, so that doesn't make that character popular. Okay.
Right.
And what else is going on? I've been watching The Bad Batch. It's not bad. I'm starting to like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, people are like, oh, my favorite rumor from this is Omega looks just like Rey. It's like, no, she looks just like Hunter and Tech and Captain Rex and everybody else. She's a female version of them. What are you talking about? And there's one scene, and I got a picture of it, where Dr. Hemlock, who's like the head of this cloning operation, has a schematic of what looks to be a dark trooper.
Mm.
I'm looking at this going, this has nothing to do with the Emperor. This has everything to do with creating an army of force-sensitive slaves that will do his
Mm-hmm.
bidding. That's what this is. Because, you know, it's like, okay, what? And then you've got the hate for Ahsoka. Now, I loved it. I thought it was great, especially seeing Hayden Christensen as Anakin and Vader. And I loved, God bless his soul, Ray Stevenson. What a horrible loss that was. Oh my God. Uh, and I thought, you know, Rosario Dawson is a good Ahsoka. I can't stand Sabine. I don't like women who act smug like that, act like men. It's like, you're a girl. Just quit doing that. Quit acting like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Harrison Dula to me is just a throwaway character. She's like a replacement with a green face and tentacles for Leia. You know, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
make her go away and her bratty kid. Okay. I don't like that part, but the Anakin, Ahsoka with everybody else worked. And if you remember back a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, when Doomcock announced that there was a rumor that Jon Favreau was working on a way to use the World Between Worlds to
Yes.
use a retcon the
Uh-huh.
sequel trilogy. Where's Anakin Skywalker at this? Where is he? What's he doing? Why does
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka get beaten by Balin Skull, end up in the drink, and wake up and hears, hello, Snips, I didn't think I'd see you here this soon. Turns around, looks, and it's Anakin. That's the world between worlds. And Anakin
Yeah.
Skywalker's not a Force ghost. Okay? If you go back, and I'm getting into the deep lore, if you haven't seen the Clone Wars, at least invest in the Mortis arc. Because
Yeah.
there's a
Oh,
point
yeah, I have.
the dad or the father tells
Mm-hmm.
Anakin, you need to stay here to keep my son and daughter in balance. And Anakin says, I can't do that. Well, guess what he's not doing now? He's in the world between worlds for a reason. And at the end of Ahsoka season 1, you got Balin Skull standing on the arm of a monolith of the father with the son to his left and a half whatever of the daughter to his
Mm-hmm.
right. And the father is pointing to a mountain peak with a light coming from it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Anakin there too, watching Ahsoka. They're going to use the world between worlds to do something. And if you think Anakin Skywalker is going to be used, I don't know how, as like what? Would he let the Emperor do what he did, apparently? No, of course not.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor is his biggest enemy. He's the biggest, uh, basically Palpatine took the Force out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he let this go on? And that, I mean, when you look at that, you're like, okay, no, I get it. These are the things no one else talks about. Why is Anakin Skywalker there? Why are we seeing monoliths of the Mortis gods? What is Balin Skull looking at? Why is he being, who's calling him? That's the takeaway. Not Sabine sucks. Not Hera is a snooze. Not her green haired kid stole Jason Solo's name. Okay. No, none of that. It's what is going on. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Balin Skull. That's it. That's all you need to
Mm-hmm.
know. And it's right over everybody's head, I think intentionally at times. Um, so there's that. And then now we've got, let's see, um, like last September, Kathleen Kennedy and her husband put their house in Malibu on sale
Yeah, I
for,
heard that.
yeah, $18.9 million. They
Okay.
dropped the price to 16.9 and then had to drop it to 14.9 and they sold it for 12.6 just like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like, okay, why are they selling the house? You know, does she owe somebody money? What's going on? Or do they not need it now that she's basically not where she was before? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, all that stuff is going on. And, when they announced that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were working on Mando and Grogu and then Heir to the Empire,
Mhm.
you know, that is sequel trilogy timeline. Okay, that
Yeah.
is what that is. And it's like, you've got to be able to look at people and say, I disagree. This is what we know publicly. This is what we've been told by our contact in Lucasfilm. Why don't you even consider it? And I don't, I'm like, I'm whatever. So all that's going on. We've got the Gina Carano lawsuit.
Hmm.
Don't be surprised, and this is just speculation, that she settles.
I
Um,
won't be surprised.
I mean,
I think she'll settle.
she'll settle and come back. That's what she wants.
Hmm.
Um, she's got a big thing where she feels so free and everything. It's like, if Jon Favreau calls you and says you've got your job back, and your lawyers say they came back with like $1 million, whatever, because she doesn't want much. She wants her job back at $75,000. They'll give her more just because they should, and everybody will be happy. You know, um, I don't know if Elon Musk will be, but I'll tell you something else. If that happens, way it does, if that I think it might, it means Bob Iger is taking Elon Musk extremely seriously if he does that, and he should. I mean, he should. The proxy was, they're bragging that Iger blew everybody out. It was 69% of the vote. Fine, but before he had over 90%, almost 100% at one time.
Iger did?
Yeah, years
Cool.
ago when
Hmm.
they did voting on the board. He got to seat his guys almost unanimously.
Mm.
And now it's like, there's blood in the water. And the other studio execs publicly, and I think Variety have been saying he's a wounded duck. All right, fine. They're bragging that, oh, he blew him out of the water. It's like, no, he didn't. I saw the vote, and 69% is a D, a high D in a
Hmm.
class.
Yeah.
That is not good. That is not good. But so there's all that proxy votes going on, and there's just a lot of flux going on. We've got a rumor that uh, Mando and Grogu is going to start filming on June 17th.
As
Uh,
a full movie.
it's the day before my birthday. Um, we've got the Acolyte showing up on the 4th of June,
Hmm.
and I'm looking at it going, have you seen the dislikes? They're at 78%. They're at 78%. And I've got people saying, well, I don't know how it's going to undermine the original trilogy. It's like, no one's going to watch it.
Hmm.
It's like, no one is going to watch it. I know it. You know it. Okay.
Hmm.
And if they do, it's going to be hate views. That's it. It just, I mean, the trailer was bad. The trailer's got, almost 80% dislikes. The comments are, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. All about Harvey. Nothing about the show at all.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, and it's like, if you're Bob Iger, and you're talking to Jon Favreau, Filoni, and probably George Lucas, and we could do the Ray movie, or we could do The Acolyte. What is going to cause the most damage? Because that's how they're thinking right now. And the unanimous agreement will probably be, you can't do the Ray movie. We can't spend $200 million on something that's going to suck, because
Hmm.
the fans hate the character. They hate everything about it. We know this because the way they're talking online. Can't do it. The Acolyte. Why? We don't know who financed it. Apparently, everybody at Lucasfilm is terrified to talk about who financed it. Okay, which is interesting to me. Did you know, and this is in the press, that one of the characters is a non-binary transy who
Mhm.
was an MI6 propaganda tool during the lockdowns in London? Okay, so we've got that going on there. It's like, you know, if people like who I'm talking about have nothing else to do besides affecting propaganda in their own country, they're either bored, power hungry, or both, and they need their organization needs to be disbanded. Okay, why would MI6, CIA, whatever, want or care about a TV show like that?
Yeah.
You know, but this person was hired. Okay, and then we get told that nobody at Lucasfilm wants to talk about it. All right, you get, Leslie Headland being interviewed on Empire, by Empire Magazine, which is a dumpster fire rag. Kathleen Kennedy's nowhere to be seen at all with this. Where is she? She's the one behind it. She needs to own it, right?
Yeah, she should.
And so I look at that as making a faster exit than Willow did. I'll be there. People will go, wow, this sucks, and it'll go away. That's what I think. Lesser of two evils. Okay, that's the way you got to look at this. It's a very, at times, pragmatic way of looking at things. But if you look at how the fans feel, and how badly, when you look at, well, the Forbes article from the other day, how badly the box office for the sequel trilogy really went. And
Yeah.
you realize they only made like, $1.3 billion net. And I've talked about this. I mean, you look at how much it costs to make. Were there reshoots? That all goes to production. Marketing should be half. Okay, so it's already $500 million, way over budget. All right, to me, if your budget's $200 million, your marketing should be $100 million, so it's $300 million. You're looking at, and these were figures, they were in SEC filings, 800 pages long. Okay, but they were there.
Right.
What in Disney's presentation to the shareholders when before the proxy vote, they only talked about the sequel trilogy. They didn't talk about Solo, and they didn't have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny or Willow. Now, the public thing with Indiana Jones, it lost 80 million. It lost well over that, like more like 380 million. I mean, it cost, see how much it cost. Harrison Ford gets hurt. Money starts adding up because you're delayed. And then they were reshoots because they showed the film to, they said test audience, probably nothing more than Disney executives, because they weren't going to show that to anybody else.
Yeah.
They were told you have to change the end, because Doomcock was right about the end. He was right about the end. They have Indiana disappear, and smug Phoebe Waller-Bridge show up with a hat and a whip, and basically Kathleen Kennedy has a thing where all the guys that are great need to end up being losers. Luke, Han, Indy, Lando, Lando, she reduces him from, a successful gambler, womanizer to pansexual, what the,
Yeah.
and, Iger was like, no, you're gonna change it. I mean, Harrison Ford said they had to change the ending. Um, and it always makes me look at him and go, dude,
Mhm.
why didn't you say something about this when they were doing it?
Yeah, you would have saved a lot of money.
Yeah, well, think about this. We can't do this to my character. And it's not narcissistic or self-centered to say, like, this is my favorite thing. Apparently, and I wish I could find this interview, Larry Kasdan was interviewed saying when they were wrapping TFA, Harrison looked around and said, I wish I was staying longer. So the whole, oh, he hates Han Solo, blah, blah, blah. No, I know what it was. He looked at the script of Return of the Jedi and said, there's not enough for me to do. Now, he wanted the character to die in The Empire Strikes Back, and there's like, no, that's not going to happen. Are you fucking kidding me? So they left it open. But fact of the matter is, had they had Return of the Jedi, have Lando show up, help get Han out of there, he goes back to do, maybe to fix Cloud City or to like lead a rebellion against the Imperial garrison there. And this is the scene I could foresee. I could write this. They get through the sandstorm. They get to the ships. You see the Lady Luck in a shadow of it. Falcon's here. Red Five's there. And Lando goes, well, good luck, blah, blah, blah. And Han looks at him and just rears back and just flattens, just like that.
Mhm.
Over and helps Lando up and said, now we're even. That is something that they should have done.
Yeah.
That would have been a Han Solo Lando Calrissian moment. Then Han says, let me know if you need help in Cloud City, Chewie and I will bring some guys. That's what I do right now. Okay, apparently. He looks at Leia and Leia's like, what are you doing? But then Han could be the one leading the ships into blow up the Death Star, and then he has something to do. Okay. Then Mr. Actor Dude is not complaining, right? Okay. That's how you fix that. And I think the movie probably would have been even better than it was. We didn't need Lando Calrissian to do that. We had Han Solo there. Okay. And
That's true.
he would have had something to do. And it would have made Leia much more important. Okay, because she's the key to getting the fleet in a position to take out the Death Star. Okay. That's it. Um, but when he said that to Larry Kasdan, and then he shows up, was it 2016 or 2018, to Star Wars Celebration, and no one thought he was going to show up, and there he was.
Mhm.
I'm watching this and looking. I'm going. He had long conversations with Carrie about what was going on the set, and he talked about what was going on the set of TLJ. And I have a theory that had he been part of that cast, Bob Iger would have got a phone call from the man himself saying, if you don't get control of this director and get this shitty script out of our faces, we're walking. We don't care. We're leaving. This is bullshit.
Mm.
This is disrespectful to everything. Because he would have stuck up for Mark. He would have stuck up for Carrie. All right. No one, and he would have been able to do it. Mark doesn't have the cash. Carrie would have had the cachet, but she was sick. You could tell. Harrison would have been able to do it without any help from anybody. All right. So I think he showed up because he knew what was coming. All right. He knew that there was the fans. I mean, he's even said, you've got to give the fans what they want.
Mhm.
You've got to entertain them. If they walk out, what did I just say? They're not going to be happy, and they're going to let you know. And he was right. Okay. So when I think about all that, I kind of go, a lot of things were missed because the wrong people were the people that could have fixed things and raised a red flag and been heard were not there to do it. It worked out perfectly fine for Kennedy, you know. Because Mark, I'm going to say this, Mark's a pussy. Mark Hamill's a pussy. He will not, he's not able to stand up and say, no, I am not doing this. And he doesn't have the cachet and the behind him to make people believe it. Even if you don't have it, you can make people believe it. You know, you know, if you're weak in it, you got to behave like you're coming from a position of strength. You know, he doesn't know how to do that. He goes online and whines. Like, shut up, Mark. Um, so then that, there was all that, but it's the Cantina is growing.
Good.
I would say less than 3 people from 3,000
Nice.
subscribers. And it's been a very, very slow. And the reason why is because people get mad at me. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to, if you're not going to stop and listen to what I have to say, you'll probably get ground underneath my boot heels, because I don't like it when people are so married to their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be open-minded enough to go, wow, that could actually be happening. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have got too many people like that. I mean, you've got, it's like big YouTubers are the Pied Pipers, right? And, oh, I agree with that, but I don't think, look at us, I don't think that was going on. Again, if Harrison Ford was truly done with Star Wars, he never would show up at the Star Wars Celebration. He wouldn't have shown up for Mark and Carrie. He did.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he did, and I think it was like he felt like he let people down. That he's, lucky for him, escaped a sinking ship. And yet there were people there that were stuck there. And of course, Carrie passed away.
Yeah.
Which I think, all that. All right. I have something to say about that, by the way. So,
Okay. And then we say that, and then we'll go. We're gonna open up for some questions.
so Carrie writes that book, The Princess Diarist. I bought it literally an hour after it was published. I'm at the store. Because you kind of knew something was going on, but you couldn't quite really press that. So I read it in like one afternoon. I'm like in a hay bale, leaning against it. My horse's head is right here. She's eating, and I'm telling her what's going on. And she's like, I don't care, leave me alone. But I read it there at the farm. I read it with the dog. I read it, and I got done with it. I'm like, we knew the whole time. Mark Hamill, I didn't know. It's like the only people on the whole planet who wouldn't know are guys. All right, he shows up at Ford's apartment with the guy that played Biggs, and they're doing. They're all gonna have breakfast and like do a read around, and Carrie's already there, looking like she probably stayed the night, and it doesn't go. What's going on? Most women would be going, I mean, really? All right. So, we got all that going on. And I read the book, and, it was before Carrie died. And sent her, you are a legend. You are my hero. I cannot believe you kept this a secret so long. And you've got to understand that having something like that a secret for decades gives its veracity a lot of oomph, right? So the reason why her brother, Todd, and her sisters weren't invited to Carrie's star ceremony on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is because they all wrote books basically acting like it never happened. Now, if it hadn't happened, don't you think Harrison Ford would have something to say about that? He's never said. The only thing he ever said Carrie was the one that got the email saying, all it said was lawyer. And she's like, her. And, that was it. All right. So that pissed me off at Todd for doing that to her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little he thought of her. Okay. And it's like that. And I don't blame Billy for saying you guys can't come. You're not coming.
Mm-hmm.
You lied about Mom.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, there's that. And question, did they have anything going on during The Empire Strikes Back? Well, according to Mayhew, yes, they did. And I believe Peter. Okay.
Mm.
It just like, yeah, of course they did.
Well, it is Hollywood.
It's Hollywood, and it's you've got a guy who's kind of confused about what he wants, all right, in whatever, and you've got this little tiny person, this big, who's she's beautiful, intelligent, crazy, and for some reason it just worked at the time, but it wouldn't have worked out there in the way that it should, because she could not be part of something that was domesticated, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had a kid and everything, but when you read some of her other books, you're just looking at her going, and you look at her parents going, you did this to her. You did this to the kids. You just want you own this. Her problems are you. All right. You let this happen. And, she inherited stuff. She probably got into like marijuana and stuff when she was too young. It affects the brain development. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain's not done developing until you're 25.
Right.
And by the time it's if you're gonna be veering off into some crazy place, it's too late. Okay. But the fact of the matter is something did happen. Part of the book was when they were making The Force Awakens, there's something similar, a May, July sort of romance going on. And Harrison's told her, well, maybe it'll work out for them. So there's another going, there's no reason to lie about anything like that. I mean, there's no reason for it. But okay, I'm ready. Any questions you want?
Okay. Well, Max Redstone is saying, preach, yeah. Legata says, I always liked how Debbie Reynolds was never jealous of her daughter's fame, and in fact was proud that Carrie was able to make it out of her shadow and be her own.
Oh yeah, definitely. They had this Postcards of the Edge is a fictional story, but when you saw them together, it was this sort of more like best friends than mom and daughter almost.
Mm-hmm.
when they got to a certain point. But Carrie was definitely allowed to be her own person, which is something good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of unstable issues, not stable issues going on too. The stepdad, and all of that, and it's like, what did you're what? If you read Princess Diarist, you will read a lot of stuff. And it's kind of like going, boy, am I glad my parents were middle class in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Oh my God. Sure, you owned a horse when you were 13, but that's it. I mean, but Carrie, my favorite story from when she talked about Star Wars is George called her and said, you've got the part of Leia. And they were going to fly Carrie over, regular, steerage as it is. Trust me, I've been on flights like that to London, by the way. Sitting next to a Russian lady who had to weigh 300 pounds.
Oh.
Grossed out, just ugh. Anyway, you know, Debbie was like, a first class ticket for you. And hi, buddy. My husband says hi.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Anyway, so you know, Debbie's like, you have to pay for first class. I'm not letting you do this. And Carrie goes, oh, mother, fuck off. I'm going anyway. It's like, you know, she's 19 years old saying that. I would not have said that to my mom at the age I am. All right, never.
No.
I mean, I would think it,
No.
go into the bathroom and scream it, but not to her face. And she and I had some, you know, but I'm like, my God, Carrie, what giant brass ovaries you have. Oh, thank you. Semper Fi. There you go. But that's one of my favorites.
Oh, wow.
That, you know,
Yeah.
you know, the dog came over too to say hi.
Oh, hello, doggy.
Yeah, he's
Hello,
right here.
Kojak.
Koji.
Hello, Koji.
Koji, come here. Coach. Kojak.
Oh, what a pretty doggy.
Yeah, he is. He's I'd like to actually get him a sister, and I'm not allowed to because he's too big. But yes, January 17th of last year, this got shattered. And if you notice, I can't straighten these fingers out.
Yeah.
There's 3 pins in it and a plate. So it's made horseback riding interesting. I've had to teach myself to shoot a pistol with the right hand. Because I can't take this won't take even with the 380. But
Even with the 380, wow.
Even with the 380. But I gotta say, I do pretty well with my right hand. I mean, I haven't lost anything. It wasn't a long, it wasn't a big learning curve. It was,
Okay.
you know, you move your arm over this way, you know, because left eye dominant and right-handed. So right-handed feels natural, but you know, and the only thing I haven't done is ride. I don't ride Candy anymore. She basically had a temper tantrum a couple years ago and decided I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm like, okay, she's old. She's 24 now, so she looks great. You know, people look at her and like, she's 24. I was like, yeah, for a thoroughbred, she's a real easy keeper. She's fat, and I'm like, good. I'd rather have her a little heavy than too skinny with the ribs sticking out. That's not good for an old horse.
Yeah.
But you know, she's the pasture queen. She just, I go up, clean her, look at her feet, make sure she's doing okay, check her eyes. You know, that's it. You know, she's, you know, but that, it's like owning a thoroughbred racehorse. It's like owning a German Shepherd working dog.
Okay.
They're not stupid. A lot of people think they are. What they are is hypersensitive, hyper focused, and really, really, really smart. And a really smart horse or dog is harder to work with than a stupid one. Stupid one will just do what you want.
Yeah.
An intelligent horse can look at you and go, why? And you have to explain it to me and I understand. Sometimes it doesn't get that way with them.
Yeah.
But she's, you know, she's doing good. She looks great.
Good.
You know,
Now, she's on your property. I mean, you have a farm, right?
No, I've got, actually what's funny is, I'll tell you a story how so Rudy retired from the Marine Corps.
Right.
In March of 2018. We'd come back to Carlisle just to see if we liked it. And we found a builder that we liked. And then we couldn't get any meetings with them. We went
Mm.
to this property and built this. There were two different plans. When I walked, I'm like, I love them both so much. I'd be happy in either. You had two great room. You had a pantry that you could live in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, storage. You know, the basement was sufficient to have a workout room, a movie theater, whatever kind of thing that you wanted, and a bar. And then there's storage
Mm-hmm.
and a big, you know, kitchen with, you know, big dual stove ovens and everything. I'm a cook, so. And
Mm-hmm.
we ended up getting a real estate agent named Beth. So we came back here, and she had a bunch of houses. She went through the whole list that they had, sent us a bunch, and gave us the list of what she wanted to show us. Now, this is the last house, the one I'm in right now, that we saw that day.
Mm-hmm.
One that had the guy that owned it had cleaned it up. It was perfect. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was. Now, I probably would have gutted it because it was, the bones were nice, but brown marble and
Ooh.
all of that old school brown, you know, the bronze and everything. For like the counters and everything, ugly. Like I actually have a white kitchen with different shades of gray, tile and gray and white uh, counters. I like that. It's contemporary, neat, straight lines, neat, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But had he cleaned it, I would have said we can do this, and we can repaint it, and we can
Mm-hmm.
fixing up here and make it look good. The neighborhood was too close together, which was bothersome, but there are compromises you have to make. So I
Nice.
walked into this place. It had a two-story great room. The kitchen was big enough. Didn't have the dual stove I wanted. It wasn't oil or gas. But you can make it work. All right. Bedroom is huge. Master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
For all those people who get pissed off when I use the word master bedroom, I'm the master, mistress of this house. My husband's the master. That's the master bedroom. It is not the owner's bedroom. Okay. Master and first owners. Okay. Um, but we just this was it. Now, if we ever win the $1 billion lottery, you're not going to know, but you will notice changes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll end up being, oh, they own this property there and they're doing this now. We don't know, whatever. I'd probably have this place up for rent for the war college for people that are going to war college.
Ooh.
Great house for people like that to entertain in, and you do that a lot when you're a student there. But yeah, so we make a house. I start looking for a barn and Mountain View Horse Farm. So I call them up and I'm talking to the lady Dolores who owns it. It's not expensive. You think that it would be like $1,000 a month. No, it's more like it's less than $500 a month.
Oh,
Okay,
that's not bad.
which is good for rent for board. And we get here, and I do the map. I'm like, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm literally 5 minutes away from seeing my horse.
Good.
And Kay got to the point where it's like, are you gonna leave me alone? I just want to stand here and look out the window and eat hay, and you're bothering me. You're here all the time. So yeah. So now, if I did have land enough for a horse to be on, we'd have more. Because I'm not ever getting rid of Kay. She's too old to get rid of. First, she's too old to sell. If something ever happened to me, she'd probably end up at New Holland at a meat auction. And she was already rescued from one of those when she was 10, 9, because because if you're not going to spend the time with her when you first meet her, you're not going to like her. You're not going to get along with her. I spent 2 months doing groundwork, it's tedious. People that don't know horses think it's boring, but a horse has a very silent way of communicating. And if you don't understand that, you're going to watch a horse trainer and say, this is boring. I mean, all they're doing is just standing there. What you're waiting for is the horse to approach you. And it took her to do that, but she did it. She does it now. A lot of round pen work, a lot of her, rearing straight up in the air, jumping 6 feet high, like right off like pogo sticks, kaboing, and, stretching out and bucking. And it's like, if I'm on her back and she does that, she will kill me. She will kill you. She does, when she bucks, she means it. She's not, she's like a nuclear bomb that won't stop exploding. But once you get that part where they trust you, then you can proceed with tack, riding, getting to know each other, getting to know your hands, which is a big thing with horses, especially thoroughbreds. They're very sensitive in the mouth. And the lighter the bit, the happier they are. It's mostly you use your legs more than anything else to control them. Like when you just kind of sit back in the saddle, and you don't have to use your hands. They know to halt. All right. It's sounds complicated, and for people that don't quite understand it's not like training a dog. Sit heel, come fetch, shake. It's more like we're building this relationship, you and me.
Yeah.
And we need to trust each other. I don't want.
Yeah, my granddaughter.
Yeah, I don't want you to kill me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurt you.
My granddaughter is learning. She's taking horseback riding lessons, and she's learning all that. She's learning how to take care of the horse,
Yeah.
and because it was off season, the owners asked asked for help in finance providing for the horse, like giving them money to do that. So part of they my stepson and his fiance talked to me and or talked to Sandra, not to me. I'm not the talk to Sandra, and somehow we have a lease on a horse.
Well, that look, I gotta tell you something. When I was a kid, and there was a place called the R&R Ranch, which is across the Mississippi River from where I grew up in Wisconsin. In Minnesota, it's up in the bluffs above the river. Beautiful place. I've taken Rick to go drive past it. It's way different now, but it's still there. They still do horses. I taught myself to ride. I started volunteering when I was like 12, and the owner could not get rid of me. I was like, I'm here. Do you need help? What do you want? And I was one of those fearless kids who wasn't afraid of anything. She had a horse the first year when I was there, and I had a favorite horse named Ranger. Ranger was, I think, half Welsh pony and half Arabian, and he was a little dude. I mean, Kojak might be almost the same size. Okay, Ranger was a horse, but barely, and he was a good boy. He was a really good boy. Joyce got a horse. She bought him for herself, named Taneha. Taneha was half thoroughbred, half quarter horse, which makes him an appendix horse. He was beautiful. He was absolutely. He was a red chestnut with a blaze, 4 white socks, and a blonde mane and tail. And I saw him galloping up. out of the valley, and it was all foggy, and all of a sudden you see the shadow come up. And I'm like, and we looked at each other, and it was love at first sight. I got on him bareback with nothing but 2 lead chains on the halter, and I just rode him over the farm. I get off of him, and Joyce, his owner's looking at me going, he and I get it off like that. And he had the worst reputation of any horse at the farm because everybody had heard stories, and I didn't. And I didn't care what the stories were.
Mm.
I mean, he was, he was my buddy, and I had to, like, I would lead trail rides, and these girls would show up, and they're riding togs, like they knew what they were doing. I want to ride to Neha. You can't ride to Neha. You get to ride this horse. But that one's old and doesn't move fast. I want to ride him. You can't let the kids do that, no matter what, you know. And it was a wrestling match because he was so beautiful. You get an 8 or 10-year-old girl who's a doctor's daughter, who thought they were like, they could do anything they wanted. And it's like, look, I'm the only person here besides Joyce that feels comfortable on his back. All right. The stories about him when I wasn't around was like, why would you let him get away with that? And you realize the person telling you was scared of him and was scared of him from beginning. It's like horses know. They can hear your heartbeat from 4 feet away. So if you walk up to a horse and they're looking at you like, you know, they know. They know you're scared. I've seen it happen. I put a friend of mine on my sister-in-law's horse, and King was the gentlest horse on the planet. We trained him from when he was a weanling. I mean, I knew that horse since he was a foal. And I put this girl named Melissa, who's a friend of mine, on his back, and she was so scared he wouldn't move. He's like, she's crazy. I'm not leaving. I'm not setting one foot in front of the other because she's freaking me out too.
Mm.
They know. Now, as far as like walking behind a horse, I can walk behind Kay. She won't do anything. There are horses. I've never really run into one lately that I was afraid to walk behind. But Kay and I know each other, and there are times when I literally have to be behind her. Horses can see almost 360. They can't see directly in front of them or behind them, directly behind. They have the biggest eyes and in the mammalian world, except for I think whales. All right, land mammals, no animal has bigger eye than a horse. But not walking behind a horse or approaching them from behind, if you don't know them, is a good idea. I know Kay, if I'm doing stuff behind her, I know she won't do anything because she knows me. And trust me, when I first got her, she tried to kick me. And it didn't turn out well for her because she got really tired by the time I was done. Because instead of going to her stall and being left alone, I took her right out to the round pen and made her run for another 20 minutes. You don't do that. She didn't do it again. But the more you're around them and you see their different personalities, and geldings are way different than mares. A gelding's more forgiving. A mare you have to discuss everything with. It's like a woman. Why? Um, a gelding is like, and if they're good, like Taneha, like King, Ranger, other geldings I know, they want to do stuff with you. A mare, you have to. There's some mares that'll be right there, but Kay, it took me 2 months to get her to trust me. Now she's like, "What are we doing today?" With the stallion, you got to ask him. And studs are, I've only known a few, and they were sweet horses. But to be honest, you have to have a special personality to handle a stallion. They're not built for everybody, which is why boarding barns don't want them. Okay, they don't, because it's a pain in the ass. They have to have separate fields. They have to be kept away from the mares and the geldings. The mares are around because they'll fight the geldings. And it's just it's an interesting thing. Like there was an Arabian stallion. His name was Blue, at the farm that I used to work at in Minnesota, and he was a gentleman. There's another Arabian there, stud named Mannix, who was a complete utter dickhead. He was a dickhead. He was a jerk. Um, and then when my sister-in-law kept her horses at this place over in La Crosse, they raised warm bloods, Trucaners, and a big, beautiful 4-year-old dappled gray 18 hand. He was enormous stallion named Kashmir. I loved Kashi. Kashi and I got along like, you just click with them. And there were times when I'd have to like stand there with him while his owner was off doing something, and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Are you good with this?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool, okay. Can I grace?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. As long as you don't try to kick me or go fooling around somewhere else, we're fine." But it's you got to have a cool demeanor with all horses, but with studs, you really do. And mares, as much as I love Kay, the next horse I get is going to be a gelding, because I don't want to have to go through 2 months of intensive conversations with a horse. All right, because I had to with her. And it's not only because she's a mare, but she's a thoroughbred. So you're dealing with a lot of craziness that's just inbred with them. They want to go, 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 go. That's what they want to do. And she had been neglected for a long time and didn't trust anyone. So, but anyway, but I'm really glad that your granddaughter's doing that. That's really,
Yeah.
this is good. This is a good lesson for her. It's better than school, actually. Horses will teach you about life. They will. I mean, everything that I learned, failures and all the rest of that stuff is because of Taneha and King and this bitchy bitch named Crystal who bucked me off, and this other one named Peggy who bucked me off, and they were both Appaloosa mares. Don't get an Appaloosa mare. I have an attitude about them. Geldings are fine. The mares, no. And there is a kind of a bad attitude about them in the community, and it's like, really? Yeah, people. I mean, they've got a bad reputation, and it's too bad. But hey, but geldings are more approachable as far as like, let's go for a ride. Instead of taking 20 minutes to get them settled down so you can saddle them, you can just saddle them. With Kay, you had to have a conference. Why? Why are we doing this? Where are we going? What's going on? I need to think about it. All right. Pod raid at PCB. Okay. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop culture breakdown starts in 30 minutes. So
all right.
we do a pod raid. So
okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you guys a little heads up. I've got a new channel. I just decided to do it because there's so much bad information out there in the world called American Cantina. And it's going to be about politics, American history, and other history, culture, food, whatever. Okay. And I've got to come up with an outro and an intro. I got to talk to my guy about that, Baz Taylor. But this is the one I'm probably going to actually try to monetize if I get enough people. And the reason why is because I don't want to put that on Smuggler's Cantina because that's Star Wars, that's Disney, that's, but American Cantina is talk about the presidential election and everything. All right. And everybody's invited except for, and I'm going to say it, SJWs. All right. I don't mind if you're a Democrat, but if you are a social justice warrior yelling in people's faces about trans rights, I'm probably going to zap you and ban you. You're not.
do you have a YouTube channel link?
No, I don't. But what I'll do is I'll send it to you.
Okay,
Um,
sounds good.
I just started it yesterday, and I'm
Okay.
trying to think about what more I could do and make it look more professional. But right now, it's just kind of a nascent thing. Um, it's just a place to like actually have real discussions without conspiracy theorists, uh, biased lefties or righties. Like, you could either go Bill Maher or Ben Shapiro to both of them. Um, it's just a place for a real conversation and talk
Okay.
about everything. Okay, so that's
All
what
right.
I'm doing right now. Besides waiting for
Okay.
Kathleen Kennedy to leave.
Yeah. Send me your link and we'll put it out there.
Okay, all right.
Um,
So you guys have a
um,
good time at Pop Culture Breakdown. Okay.
yep. All right. So thank you very much, Stephanie. This was great.
You're welcome.
Uh,
You're welcome.
yes.
I talk
Let's
too
go.
much.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So Max. Yes, it's time for show notes.
All right. Okay.
Well, stick around.
All right.
Let's
Hi,
see.
Coachy. What?
Shows with Mr. Ray. Show those with Sandra Mr. Raymond, push the button.
Okay, it has. Before we get into show notes in earnest, let me. I was asked to show you the wonderful bouquet we got from Chewy in
Okay.
honor of our buddy Snoopy. Yeah, this if this doesn't, it may make me cry. Let's see. Here we go. We just got this today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That is really
Chewy.
beautiful.
The portrait of Snoop was made by someone at Chewy, and that's actually him. And they gave us a card saying they feel they, they're sorry for his loss, but
Yeah,
that's absolutely gorgeous.
it is gorgeous. It
And
is. It is
yeah,
gorgeous.
yep, and
Yeah,
it was so. It's like I saw in one of the DMs that we received that it's so rare that a company will do something nice like that.
it is. It is. I mean, I got, let's see, a comforter from a friend of mine uh, that had her horse at the same stable in Virginia when we were living there. She
Hmm.
had actually helped me. I'd uh, I had slipped and fallen and broken my ass at Dunkin' Donuts.
Hmm.
I had a broken tailbone.
Yeah.
So she had to come to the hospital to get me to take me home. And of course, there's no way I'm getting up to take the dog out. So she had to do stuff with Buford. And she gave me a comforter with different pictures of Buford from the years that I'd taken pictures. And
Hmm.
my best friend in DC sent me a pillow with his picture on it.
Oh,
So be ready because people might be doing that,
yeah.
which
I
it's a good way to remember.
Yeah, I really think so. All right,
Yeah.
this Sunday, there is going to be. We're on an away mission both Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a Sunday show, but it's probably going to be at 6 o'clock after our Sunday away mission. But we will have a Sunday show on the 24th, a week from today. We're going to have for an interview 24/7 Fusion Media. He'll
All
be
right.
coming on May 1st. We're going to have our robotics expert, John Dar Bradshaw. He's also a scientist at the Great Lakes Science Center, and we'll get an update on him. And also, he was also doing stuff during the eclipse, so we will talk to him about along with his work with STEM and robotics during for underprivileged um, people in the inner city.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. Every Saturday is Just Cause, except for this upcoming weekend, and that is show notes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this was fun.
Show notes with Mr. Rain. Show notes with Sandra too. Mr. Raymond, push the button.
Stephanie, if you, I know you got to get going. If you got to go, you can. I'll just say goodbye to the chat, but the chat later, the chat after you leave. But you have a great anniversary. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to having you back.
All right. I'll come back anytime you want me to. I'm here.
All right.
I'll bring,
Okay.
and maybe I'll figure out how to do it from the farm so you can see Kay. Her
All
baby
right.
behind me going.
That sounds good.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, she's all right. I'll let you go after I say this. I drove up the other day. It was just after it rained. She's out in her field. She sees me coming, and that horse has not moved like that, I think, since we left Virginia. Took off like she left the starting gate. Went flying up the paddock. I was standing by the gate going, "Mommy, mommy," and I had the treats, but she was snorting and nickering, and it's just, I was shocked at how fast she moved. It's like,
Wow.
back legs hurt. What? It was good talking to you guys.
Yep. Sandra just came up and said, join us at PodCon.
I'll try to, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Take care, Stephanie.
See you guys. Bye.
Okay, Stephanie Janiscek from the Smuggler's Cantina. Just giving us all the spiel on Disney, on Star Wars, and everything. Horses and animals. So I thought it was a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know we didn't get much of a time to ask questions, but I guess she was in a hurry to finish celebrating her anniversary. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary. I should have had the Barney Rubble anniversary song, but I'm sure I would have gotten copyright spanked on that. All right, so we did show notes. We know what's going on. Again, this coming Sunday, because of our away missions, we'll probably do a short Just Cause on Sunday. We will start at 6 p.m. So let's just make sure you keep an eye on the community. Let's thank the chat. Everybody who's been here. We had the Canadian Spider-Man. We had Tim, FKHC, 2005. We had the amazing Gary Ambrosia. Thank you for coming here, sir. We need to get you back on. I will ping you. We had Max Redstone. And what is this with Dead Pudgy Society? I don't know. I don't think Pudgy would like that. Unless you're renaming movies in Pudgy's image. We had The Great Phantom Outsider. We had Taylor Swift, Greater Than Disney. also known as Matt G. We had the lovely tiger stripes, and thank you for all your good thoughts. I appreciate it, dear. And that is the chatters out there. Yeah, Sandra says I have a piano recital Sunday or Saturday, and then Sunday we have the 3-year-old while the older one is with at the movies. Let's see. Snorter Poopa says sets my alarm for 6 p.m. Sunday, as well as take care of a human, dolphin, doggo, Dalek, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and warty frogfish. Oh, okay. A warty frogfish. Let's see. Let's see here. Did I get Max Redstone? I did get Max Redstone, I think. I want to make sure I got everybody. Everybody here is important. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Now, the amazing. What's this? Let's see. Will Sandra. Where'd it go? Will Sandra Feliciano's groupie, aka me, be taking lots of photos and record it for us all to see the after? Well, I'm going to have to check with her. I have to see if she wants a video recording and that we can bring up on Sunday. Ooh. Abbott and Costello meet Pudgy. Oh, we got to save these for Sunday. I don't know where Pudgy is. He must be busy. It's a mad Pudgy. All right. Yeah. We got to save these for Sunday. All right. So now the amazing Wrench team. The team that keeps the channel safe. We had our producer, Sandra, my better half, my soulmate. I love you, honey. We'll get through this. It's going to be tough, but we'll do it. We have our Saturday co-host, John Randall. We've got Dalek 451. The first one in, the last one out, Legatus Legion I. We had the Comic Relief Crusader come in. And also, this time I'm going to do it right. I'm tired of Mini Snort giving me grief. Slaughter Poopas! Q bar. Dot scream. Hashtag roar. Let's see. The longest Pudgy. Let's see. What's the other? A Pudgy too far. The Maltese Pudgy. Whoa. Whoa. Lots of Pudgy movies. And John Randall says, I got 1 million of them, and so do you all. Yeah. All right. You guys have a great evening. R.I.P. Snoopy. We love you all. Take care. All right. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the lovely, good word, nice thoughts, the prayers, the thinking of Snoopy, the thinking of us, and we'll see you Sunday. I love you all. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the week, and take care.